to Straight Outta Jersey. Today's podcast is brought to you by Ace Sunglasses. Go to acesunglasses.com.au to purchase some of the best shades around. Use promo code MRG30 and receive 30% off selected brands.
Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z. With the freak of New York, Greg Valentino. And your host, Jersey Jay-Z.
Another Thursday. What's up, Greg? How you doing, buddy?
Giuseppe, you're killing me with that fucking thumbnail. Now I'm actually going to talk to her, see if I can drive out there. You think I'm kidding you? I'm dead serious. I'm thinking like fucking, wait, what is it? Leonard Skinner. Remember the Leonard Skinner cover where they're standing behind like a fire? And the next thing you know, that's their album cover and then they die in a plane crash.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple people in the chat. We got Biggest Momo.
Biggest Momo.
We got Miss Bell. What's up, boys? We got Luciano. Hey,
Luciano.
What's going on? So first, Greg, I want to give a quick shout out to a person who works with my brother, and you're going to give a shout out later. And
yes, Trey. I'm sorry I missed
Trey.
Yes, Dennis sent me the day. I'm so sorry. I've been running around my car. Joe knows the story, but I forgot all about it until Joe just reminded me. But I'll send him a little.
Trey. He works with my brother. He's a young upcoming bodybuilding and some bodybuilding working out. So he's in Williamsport, PA. So we're gonna wish him well. Greg was gonna send you a little something and everything.
We're not sure how to say his name. Dennis, is it for her or for
it's
her?
Forher, Foyer.
Right.
I guess that's his last name.
Yeah, we're not sure. For her, but Trey, don't think we forgot about you. I'll send you a little.
Yeah, we'll send you a little something.
Yes, I'm sorry. Exactly. Trey. Yeah, Dennis did tell Joe. Joe told me like 2 days ago, but I've been running around with my shitty ass car that fucking hooked it to drive, and I forgot what my brain is. If you don't remind me, I'm the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Worst.
Yep.
So.
Knight Rider said, Greg, how do you know who Roxette was in the after hours? LOL.
How do we know what Roxette is in the? I'm not. Ask me that again, Knight Rider. I'm not really sure what you're asking me. Who's Roxette? I'm not sure.
How did you not know who Roxette was in after hours? Did you not know who Roxette was?
No, I still don't know who Roxette is.
No, I don't know.
Roxette.
I'm going to tell you guys a quick, funny little story. Greg, you know how this is. So it was on Monday night. I had broken up a fight between two women in the gym. And a lot of people know me in the gym. It was packed and I was whatever. And one woman was 33 or 34. She was middle-aged. The other one was 18. And it's that same thing. The girl's on the machine with the cell phone on there. Now, I was working out at the machine next to it. And I was watching. And she was on her phone for about 5 minutes.
The young girl, I'm assuming.
No, the older woman.
The old one was on. Oh, shit.
That's what made it interesting. And the young one said, hey, I want to work out. Can you hurry up? Then the old woman said, I can stay on here as long as I want. And that's what started it off. And then the young girl goes, F you, this, that. And I said, and that's when I jumped in. I said, hey, why don't you two switch real quick? Like when you get off, let her go in.
Yeah, work in.
She's texting. She can get off text. She didn't want any part of it. And the other girls go, the two, and it's like, them two are smacking each other. And I'm like, whoa. And I had just broken them up.
Did you hear any, cat fucking sounds and shit?
No, but there was a little bit of pulling hair. The younger one was getting, obviously the better shots in on her.
Were any of them female bodybuilder-ish? You know what I'm saying? Like serious, had a little muscle?
No.
That's useless shit. And by the way, if you're 35 to me, you're still young. You know what I mean? That's not middle age.
She was like 30. She was in her late 30s, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Maybe 40.
This world is ruined by them cell phones. It's disgusting. It's sick.
Yeah.
Cell phones have ruined everything. It's social media. That's because you're playing games. It's different if you're using it for a phone call. Okay, but other guys give me excuse. Well, I'm finding music. I'm like, dude, if you don't have that shit already preset, you don't sit there between sets for 5 minutes and look like, oh my God, I want to hear that song by Bruce Springsteen. Fuck that. You know what I mean?
A long time she was on there. A long time. No good. I even was like, wow. Because after they broke it up, I said to the older lady, I said, she's right. You have to have gym etiquette, especially at this time when it's packed and people are using machines.
Right.
Mr. G said, what do you say here?
That's Dave. That's Knight Rider said. Dave said Michelle booked a singer, Roxette. Who the fuck is Roxette? You said you didn't know who Roxette. Well, I still don't know who Roxette. I didn't even hear that. I never heard that that Dave booked that. I didn't hear when they said that. I didn't hear that, so it went over my head. I might have heard it, but they're hitting me with so much bullshit. Who is Roxette? And you know, I don't know.
Mr. G said, Joe, are you going to Alabama? No, I'm not. I won't be able to. I got too many other things going on between work and everything.
Mr. G, do you know who the fuck Roxette is? I've never, I have no idea. And did she say that he's saying I responded? I didn't know who Roxette is, but I really don't know who Roxette is. Is that like some rapper chick or something like that?
I have no idea.
What's
going on, Mr. G? You guys are all ready for Alabama? So, Greg, are you going to be?
Well, we still haven't made any arrangements yet. I think I'm going. I don't know. I might have to drive. I don't know. Joe fucking tortured me with that. I saw Joe put on that. The thumbnail, and it shows a fucking plane burning and going down, and that's all I fucking need. You have no idea.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you about today. Why do you hate traveling so much? I mean, I know why, but people were asking me.
It's one thing with planes. It's another thing to land, and then you have to fucking run across the fucking. You land. You're in gate 22. You need to get to gate 185, and you got 5 minutes. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And you're fucking running through the airport. You're fucking. You know, you're whatever you call those, the suitcases are fucking flopping around and shit while you're trying to run. You know, people walking in front of you all slow. You know, and then you know if you have to go to the bathroom, there's a fucking line. And when I have to go, I have to go. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's piss or fucking, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I have to go. So I'll throw you out of the two. I'll slide you right over. Move over. You know what I mean? But the real thing, but I don't like the Atlanta airport. I've been there a bunch of times. I did a thing with Charles Barkley. I did a thing with, I did the what is it called? TBS Superstation. I did a fucking billboard for them. That's the picture where I'm holding up the globe, right? This is like talking a long time ago. He took it like 2001, 2002, some shit like that. You know, and there's always fucking delays for no reason. You know what I mean? You ever drive on the LIE in Long Island? There's always traffic jams for no fucking reason, no matter what time you go. Unless you're going late at night, real late at night, maybe you'll be all right. But if you go during the day, there's always a traffic jam for no reason. It's not like there's a car down or there's construction. But, and they even know the exits. At exit, 52, expect to try, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. What? Why? It's just like, well, it's like that. There's always delayed flights. Last year, Lucy and I, we got back from Alabama into Atlanta airport at about 1:30ish, right? So we're like, okay, I got my daughter's going to pick me up and everything. And now they're like, you just missed a plane because your plane was late. Our plane was late. We sat on a tarmac for like 45 minutes. So we got in like literally 20 minutes or so or more later than we were supposed to get in. And no plane's going to wait for you. So everybody that was on my plane that wanted to go back to New York were fucked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And you're like, well, the next plane's at 8 a.m. Now, I'm not staying in fucking Savage Land for fucking, from 1:30 in the afternoon to, 8 in the morning the next day. Especially, I'm not sleeping in no airport. Doesn't work like that. Like, I talked to Jimmy the Bull about that, right? And Jimmy hates that shit, too. And Jimmy said to me, bro, fuck that. I rent a car and I'm going home. There's no way I'm sleeping in no fucking airport in Atlanta. And it's savages in there. That's where you see, whenever you see those like savages pulling big black chicks pulling the wigs off, all that you can have fucking fist fighting and shit. It's always either there or Detroit. Those two airports are horrendous. I've never been to the Detroit one, but I've been to the Atlanta one many a time. So I didn't want to go to the Atlanta one. And that's when Dave's like, wow, you're gonna make her pay more money than this and that. And meanwhile, he invites 5 other guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, well, that's okay. And I don't care about inviting the other guys, but you can't chastise me because that's airfare, fucking, hotel, food. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's 5 other people. Don't give me that shit. So.
Wouldn't it be easier if Michelle moved that thing up here so she wouldn't have to fly people?
It's still called the Alabama Classic, and we have it right here in New York.
We have it in like New York or something or whatever it is.
I just don't know who the fuck is Roxette though. Is that a legit chick or is that a band? What is that?
Yep, exactly. Ben Garcia said, "Hey, Greg, Joe, that's why Greg and I train at 2 a.m. That's right, because I'm breaking up fights with 2 girls in the middle of the gym at 5 p.m. So it's like, come on.
Ben, that's horrible. And girls are the worst. They're the worst.
Yeah.
Look, I was just talking about the fights in the airport. It's always chicks. You ever noticed that? And the wigs come fucking flying off. One chick grabs her hair, there's fucking wigs in her hand, and they're fist fighting, and they don't stop. They don't stop.
Mhm.
The cops break it up. They're still going in.
Yep. Natty Gaines said no one's giving Jimmy heat. And Natty Gaines said Dave is the richest of you all.
Oh, probably. Well, Jimmy doesn't want to go. You know what I mean? But he's going to go. I mean, it's not that he doesn't want to go. Nobody likes the whole flying thing. You understand? And you know, but the thing is, I've had fucking bad experiences in that airport, and that's why. Nobody's bothered me. I don't give two shits about that. But I ain't fighting in no airport because there's feds everywhere, hidden. You don't even know. The guy reading the newspaper is a fucking undercover cop, and you get in serious trouble if you get caught doing that shit. But that's the end of there. There's no trouble for me like that. It's just that their flights are always delayed. So you know what that means? There's not even a place to sit down where you need to go. Right? We were standing up against the wall, and then if you have to go to the bathroom, which I'm taking Jardiance. My doctor just put me on Jardiance. That shit makes you pee, literally. It works great, man. Not for nothing, okay? But it makes you piss. Literally, one of the side effects is you piss like every 15 minutes. And when I gotta pee, it's like I gotta pee. It's almost like Joe. You know when you've been sitting in a car for like 2-3 hours and you had to pee the whole time, and when you finally get out and pee, it's like euphoric. You're like, oh fuck, oh my god, I've been holding it. Every piss like that is for me, you know, it's like that. So when you're on that Jardiance, bro, and I gotta pee, so you know, it's I just don't need no bullshit, you know. So all I wanted was I said originally, let me get into, instead of going into the Atlanta airport, let me go into this, I think it's the North Carolina, Durham or whatever the fuck it is. Let me go into that airport and fly. You know, I didn't know it's going to be any more money. I didn't even think about that, but that's why Dave freaked out on me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, I guess they'll see if you're going to be there or not. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully they'll see you in Alabama.
I enjoy being with the guys. You know what I mean? I like that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to see George. I want to see Jimmy. Jimmy kept telling me, Greg, you better go. You better fucking go. You know, he was like, you know, and I do want to see Jimmy and George. And, you know, George's brother Bobby's going, who's the fucking, I get along very well with. He's a panic. He's a pisser. Bobby's. And you mix George and Bobby together, forget about it. Nobody's going to get a word in that day.
Yeah. Mr. G said they cleaned up Atlanta.
Yeah, they cleaned it up, sure. Not except for when I got there. They didn't clean up no Atlanta. Dude, there's still flights being delayed. Isn't that where the fucking plane fell out of the sky too? Wasn't it Atlanta, right? Georgia? Yeah, fuck, man. I don't need that shit. And Joe goes and fucking puts the fucking Leonard Skinner fucking thumbnail up, showing me sitting with a fucking plane in the background on fire coming down. And I'm like, holy shit. I showed Lucia and she started doing like the Hail Marys and stuff, you know?
Ben Garcia says, Greg, I got news for you. Savage Landers here in LA, live in LA, where the Momos keep voting for scums like Newscomb and the mayor's ass.
Dude, get out of there. It's just bad. They don't give two shits about you. They're twisting everything too. No, it's Trump's fault for sending in you know, the National Guard. If he didn't do that, what are you going to do? They're looting stores like crazy. And you know what's funny? I'm watching immigrant store owners. All the store owners are owned by like Indians and, you know, Hindus, all that. And they're like, these people are ruining. I'm an immigrant that they fucking ruin my business, you know, because they don't want to do. And it's not about the immigrants. They don't give two shits about that. Nobody's fucking going in and they're taking our dishwashers. No, if one of the dishwashers has a warrant out for him because he was fucking a rapist and shit like that, you know, obviously they're going to go in and get him. Do you understand what I mean? That's what they're doing. They're not getting no kids out of school. All that's bullshit. That's, oh my God.
Yeah,
you know,
that's ridiculous.
Listen, my mother-in-law is an immigrant, and Lucia keeps fucking calling ICE, you know, incognito. She lives at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh shit, no, we're not going over there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's crazy. I don't know.
She was deported, keeps coming back.
She keeps coming back, right?
Dude, when she does go over there, she'll send over a picture to Lucia, right? Like, this is her. And she lives in this, like, fucking backwoods Mexican town where she's sitting on a donkey. I think I told you that. Actually, sitting on a donkey. And the donkey's like, help me. You know what I mean? And there's chickens running around. I'm like, what are you? And like, it's just, but it is like that even in Italy. There's certain backwoods fucking, like, you know, in Italy where you go, like, you know, in the mountains of, like, Naples and shit like that.
Dan says, hey, Joe and Greg, I hope everything's good with you guys. What's up, Dan?
Yeah, Dan, how you doing, brother?
Yep. What does he say over here? It says that was in Italy, I believe.
Where in Italy?
That was in India, that plane that crashed.
Oh.
That plane that crashed.
But thanks for posting that.
Yeah.
You might be costing me like an 18-hour drive now.
You don't want to drive.
No, I don't like driving, dude. I want to take a plane from my house to your house. You know what I'm saying? I don't like driving that far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having problems. Clicking some of these on my end over here. I don't know what's going on here. Clicking some of these
Comments.
Yeah, they're something's going on. I don't know if we're having some internet connection or something. But as long as we're talking, we're fine, I guess.
We're here.
Yeah, I got it. So he says they're predicting at least 100 other cities are going to have the same. I'd say away from these cities.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on. I got Joe just left again, but I got it. Listen, hold on. I saw, is his name Julio Rivera? There's a fucking guy who's a Spanish journalist. He's a young kid. He's really good. And he said, I was at when they, in 2020, when they rioted over the George Fentanyl fucking riot, right? And, you know, the BLM and all that shit. He was in D.C. when BLM was burning down and tried to burn down that church that Trump went to, right? When the D.C. riots. He was in New York City with all the riots. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. Now he's there. And they showed him. And he's got all the shit in the background going on. He goes, and I got to tell you something. He goes, some of these people I see here were in every one of those riots. Do you know why? Because they're Antifa. You notice that they got fucking helmets on. They're dressed all in black, backpacks, right? And they're by the way, they're the biggest pussies because when you get them alone, they're like, stop, please stop. You know what I mean? I saw one of them, the cops got him and they pulled him aside. He's like, stop, no. But before it was like, yo, you're fucking anarchist, this, that, you know, saying all this shit to the fucking cops. They're fucking pussies, Trantifa, all that shit. Okay, you get them alone, you know, strengthen them. But see, the problem is they know what they want to do is it's a chance to go tell a cop to go fuck himself, throw a rock through. Like none of you guys watching this would dare. If you saw a cop going down your street and you threw a rock through the window of that cop car, you know you're fucked, right? But see, when it's anarchy going on and craziness and shit like that happening, they can get away with that shit. They'll light the cop car on fire. Cops can't do anything. They can't. They're told to stay down. So they know that. That's like you going up to Mike Tyson. If his hands were tied and his fucking arms were tied behind his back and he was, you know, bolted to a wall, you'd be like, fuck you, man. You motherfucker, I'll kick your fucking ass. You suck, Tyson. Right? But you know, the minute he gets those hands loose and the legs loose, you're like, I was kidding. You know?
If we did this in another country, if one of us did it in another country, they would hang us. We'd be done.
Dude, England, Germany, fucking France, fucking other countries like us that are pussies like that allow that shit, okay? But you go to one of those other countries. Can you imagine going to like Saudi Arabia, one of them places, waving a fucking American flag, spitting on their flag, lighting it on fire? You're done. Yeah. First of all, imagine me going into Mexico with an American flag, throwing rocks through the fucking Federale cars, fucking burning the Mexican flag in Mexico. I would never get alive out of there. You'd never get out alive. And I can tell you what, even if they stuck me in prison in there, America's not going to be like they did with Abreu Garcia. No, we want Greg Valentino as ours. We want him back. You know, he needs to come. Bullshit. Let that motherfucker rot. That's what they say.
Yeah. I heard somewhere like in Dubai, somebody I think in Dubai, he spit on the floor, but you know, just spitting outside.
Yeah.
And they arrested him. And
I'll give you one better. Jerry Ward, God rest his soul, was telling me when he was out there, he was with other people and everything, and he said he was warned because they said the word fuck. And if somebody hears you and you say the word fuck, you curse. You can get locked up in Dubai. Go talk foul in Dubai. Go say something fucked up in Dubai. Watch what happens. Watch what happens to you. You have no fucking clue. And these people are crying about this country. Go over Gaza. And I hate to tell you, do you know who was from Gaza? From Gaza? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was from Gaza. Because back then, there was no Muslim. The Muslim people are really Jews that were converted to Muslim, you know, 1,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But and there's nothing against Muslim. I have, you know already, I have Muslim people that live in my house with me. And they did. And they're my friends. And they're the fucking best people on the planet. It's not, it just depends on what you get. You understand? It's just, you know, it doesn't matter. Look, I hate there's Italians who will fuck me over more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm Italian, you know? So it doesn't matter. Who kissed Jesus Christ on the cheek? Judas, one of his favorite apostles, and then kicked him in the ass and said, here, come get this motherfucker. Now, where's my money? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Ben Garcia said Newsom doesn't care about Latino families.
No, he doesn't care.
AJ88 said, what's going on, fellas?
It's not Latino families, guys. There are plenty of Latinos who don't approve of this. Do you know what this does? If I'm Mexican American, you know what I'd say? Oh my God, do you know what they're making us look bad. Do you know what I'm saying? You know how many black dudes tell me the same shit? Bro, I'm not like them. Fuck that. And they see these Savage or some motherfucker, the fucking dreads and shit, with fucking pants past their ass and shit. And my friend's like, dude, that's embarrassing. That's not me. All these people screaming DEI. Wait, you know why? You know why? Because you're a minority. And you know what, Joe? You're Puerto Rican, Joe, and you got Puerto Rican blood, and you're with Italian blood, so you're half good. But I mean, like, you know what, Joe? You're Puerto Rican. You can't make it, Joe. You're fucking stupid. You're Puerto Rican. So what we're gonna do, Joe, is we're gonna dumb the test down for you. You know what I mean? We're gonna make it so that if you get a 50, you pass. You get on the job, Joe. You know why? Not because you're good, because you suck. But we're gonna put you in a job because you can't do it on your own, and that's not true. That's not true. Ben Carson's one of the smartest human beings that's ever lived. And guess what? He's black. He's the greatest brain surgeon. The man could take two brains that are linked together and cut them and still let them live. Do you understand what he has done? I don't know if you guys know what Ben Carson's done. I mean, he's taken Siamese twins who have been attached at their brains. You have no clue what he's done.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it because of DEI. He got it because he earned it.
All right. We got another one. Says the dude 1983 said, Greg, is it better for a fat person to drop weight than start building muscle, or to drop weight and keep lifting?
Both at the same time. No excuses. You get your ass. You know what I always tell people? Get your fat ass to the gym. At one step at a time. Start working out and just watch what you eat. And you know what you're going to notice? You're starting to gain muscle and lose fat.
Yep.
That's what happens. You'll gain muscle and lose fat. You don't have to say, well, you know what, before I go to the gym, I hate to tell you, you go to other gyms that are not like fucking, like where there's bodybuilders. I go to an Anytime Fitness. Go to Anytime Fitness. And there's mom and pops there. So you're not the only guy that might have body fat on you. So you won't feel so self-conscious. Do you understand what I'm saying? But don't use excuses. I'm tired today. You know what? My foot hurts a little bit. Fuck you. Go to the gym. If I didn't go to the gym every time I'd feel tired or anytime I didn't feel good or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'd fucking forget about it. I wouldn't even be built.
Yep. Dan says, can we give California to Mexico?
Dude,
yeah, that's a good idea.
You know what's funny? No offense. Listen, my girlfriend's Mexican, and I love Mexican, especially Mexican women. Fuck the guys, but Mexican women. I love you all. Okay, but listen to me. I hate when people say
good idea.
I hate when people say, because they had girls going, you stole the land from Mexico. You want it back? How about we knock down all the buildings that we built, did everything? You motherfuckers had it, and you know what you did with it? It was sand. Do you understand? It's just like in Africa. There's still people running, but running around with spears and shit and living in grass huts. Well, the other part of, South Africa, which was, the Dutch came in and the Germans and all that shit, and they built it up in their cities and beautiful. Come on, man. Stop being fucking momos. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
Luciano said they're paid rioters.
Oh, Luciano, 100%. That's what this kid was saying. This reporter was saying he's been to the D.C. riot. He was at the New York City riots, all the BLM, the George Fentanyl riot up there in, Minnesota. He was at all those riots. And he said, I see some of the same faces here. And he was even at the insurrection. They're the same people. They're the same guys. We used to see all these skinny guys, right? Running around all dressed in black with their fucking helmet on their head, right? And their backpack and a mask like this. And then they have the audacity to say, why are these ICE agents wearing that? Because you want to dox them, because you want to put their personal shit and fuck their kids up. So you know what I say? Hakeem Jeffries and all the little Democrats that got a problem with that. You know what? Fine. You want to dox? Then we'll dox you. We'll put your house up. We'll put your we'll put your car, your license, but we'll put all that shit on the internet. Watch how fast that shit changes. Remember what happened in Chicago, where Lori Lightfoot was the mayor, Beetlejuice, right? She said, let them do it, let them burn it down when Black Lives Matter was doing all that bullshit, that fake fucking organization. Anyway, when they were burning everything down, they started going into the other neighborhoods, and then they came to her neighborhood, and that's when she said, oh, hell no, shut that down. Because it's always like that. Yeah. And now we're about to watch this. Our next mayor is going to be fucking Cuomo. You want to bet my ass on it? Maybe. The motherfucker got in trouble for grabbing ass, right? Yep. He got in trouble for all the rotten, sleazy shit. I'm Italian American, so I don't, he's a disgrace to me. To me, he's a fucking disgrace. Disgrazio. That's what he is to me. He's going to ruin everything. That fucking guy, forget about it.
We'll see.
All
Ben
the shit
Garcia said,
Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
Ben said, let's gift the Dems in Newsom to the cartel and Narcos in Mexico. Even better.
You know what? You know what? If I was Trump, I'd fucking make a deal with the cartel. I'd say, listen, maybe I'll go a little easy on you guys. Maybe I won't, fucking fuck you guys up and all that shit. But do me a favor. Take care of this rioting shit. Believe me. Okay? And the problem is you got all these white entitled kids. They're not fucking Mexicans. They're not. There's some are, but they're like white entitled kids. My father is a lawyer. My father, is a college professor. My father is a senator. That's what's involved in that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're rich entitled kids. How come they can go all day for 4, 5, 6 days? Nobody has to go to work. You know why?
Nobody has a job.
Right, because they're paid to do that shit.
Yeah.
Joe, did you see the other day they had a guy giving out gas masks? They have a kit. It comes with a gas mask, a special shield that goes over your face. They have all these other little night goggles, all this shit. They were handing them out off trucks. And now Trump is saying, we got to find out where that shit's coming from because somebody's
giving them to that. Yeah. Somebody's giving them that, CH says, I forgot you'd be live. What up, Greg and Zap Man? What's going on?
There he is. CH, what's up, my brother? That's Joe. Wait, that's Joe Zapata. I'm constantly calling Joe Pietaro. I call him constantly. I was like Joe Zapata. Joe, and I'm constantly calling Joe Zapata Joe Pietaro. It's fucking funny.
Luciano said, Greg, when you hear the term community organizer, what's that about?
That means it's bullshit. Listen, when I was younger, right? Guys who were garbage men, they were garbage men. Now they're sanitation workers. You understand? Everybody, they changed everything that everybody is. All the different. Listen to me. Community organizers means I'm a troublemaker. That's what that means. Mm-hmm. Remember, Obama was a community organizer before.
Mm-hmm. Yep. CH said, Greg, we need you in Alabama. It won't be entertaining without you.
Why, CH, are you going to Alabama?
I don't know if he is, man.
I know Joe calls him Hoog. Hoog, are you going to Alabama?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Is he saying AJ's here somewhere?
AJ88. Good, bro. What's going on?
AJ.
William Allen, back to Roxette. She was a singer back in the 90s. She sang songs, Joyride, Listen to Your Heart, The Look.
Oh, I remember. Listen to you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one I remember then. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Is she like old now? I mean,
I don't know. Luciano, there's an Asian country. If they get caught littering, the police beat the dog mess out of you. Yeah, that's over there.
Listen to me. You have no idea. You go to the Middle East or any of these other places. Go do that in some of these other countries, and they'll fucking kill you. Have you? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen an ISIS dude? Right? You see ISIS, they behead you. They're bad motherfuckers. They don't give two shits. They'll kill anybody. They kill children. Don't blink an eye. Do you ever see any of them with tattoos or any of that kind of shit? No. Mm-hmm. No. You know why? Because that's again. You go over there with your tattoos, your fucking LGBTQ and shit, and you got that shit, and with your little rainbow flag, and you'll be hanging from a crane. You can't sit there and say, I'm one of you. We're fighting for you, Gaza. They look at you and go, next thing you know, you'd be fucking hanging from a crane or beheaded. They don't care. Yep. They don't care. They kill them.
I'll tell you one. So I know two wrestlers personally that they wrestled in North Korea. Okay. So they wrestled in Korea. They got taken to their hotel rooms by an escort. And when they went to go downstairs to play pool and stuff, they were followed through the whole time. Their phones, when he was calling his wife. He called his wife and he said some shit. They came to his door, knocked on his door, pulled him out. They were listening to his phone calls.
Oh yeah, Joe.
Bad. It was bad.
Look at that Wahlberg, whatever his name is, Aldo Wall, whatever the fuck is the poor guy's name, Wahlberger, whatever the fuck his name was. The kid that ripped a poster, he took a poster off a wall. He took a poster off a wall, and they wanted we're Burma or whatever. I can't say his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. And they fucking killed him. I mean, they killed him. You get executed. You don't understand. These kids are coming in this country. We're paying for them. These foreign kids, they're like, I'm going to get an education at Harvard. Okay. And you're fucking, we're paying for them. You're paying for all these illegals making money. They don't have to fucking do anything. Fuck, they get business loans and shit. You know what I mean? You go try to get a business loan. The bottom line is, my mother always said charity begins at home. You understand? You got to take care of your own first, your own home. You got, you got You know, they're breaking Trump's balls because he wants to have a salute to the military and all this shit. And they're saying that's what Adolf Hitler did. No, Adolf Hitler gloated. He wanted to show the world, you know, they're out there. He's not going to do that. You got to be kidding me. What's wrong with you people? Yeah, he's Hitler. That's why he's on the side of the Jews. That's why his daughter is Orthodox Jew. His little children, grandsons who have been on Air Force One are wearing yarmulkes. Jared Kushner, the king of the Jews over there, has got the fucking yarmulke on his head. That's his fucking son-in-law. And you're going to fucking tell me he's Hitler, right? He's Hitler. He has more women in his cabinet than anybody else. Okay, yep. His fucking the woman, the person who runs the White House, the chief of staff is a woman, bro. I mean, I'm tired of this shit. You know, I'm tired of it.
Crazy. CH says I can't stand the romancing of Dubai. It's even worse in my country, Denmark. We force feed that shit.
Oh yeah, you're in a bad spot too, there, my brother.
Yeah,
you're in one of those liberal fucking. Keep letting that shit in, and all your country's going to be fucking. Forget about it.
Yeah, Dan said Newscomb is the biggest deplorable.
Yeah, but you know what? That motherfucker's twisting everything. And he's trying to make Trump look like he's Newsom's the hero. Trump's the fucking bad guy. He wants to win. And that motherfucker, you guys would elect him governor again. You got too many fucked up people in California. I said, you know, Ava Longoria, who's a fucking big fucking Mexican, you know, she used to be hot. Now I look at her like, she's like, the people. Fucking people. Why don't you take all your fucking millions, right? And why don't you get a whole bunch of them over, live at your house, teach them fucking English, let them fucking make sure they sign paperwork, and get their green cards and do things right. Why don't you do that instead of saying the people, we're not going to get no vegetables anymore. They're not attacking those people. Those people have a past to go back and forth. It's, oh my God, the stupidity, Joe. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, CH said, hey, Greg, remember when I told you yesterday, the woman who's in charge of my building, she said the security cameras are racist. I still can't believe that shit. That's crazy.
That is insane. That CH Hoog, as Joe would call you, get the fuck out of it. You cannot win with that. Do you understand? Because your government is really fucked too. You know what I mean? You guys are the bleeding heart. You know, people are people until you fucking, you know, until they take over. That's the whole fucking thing. They want to take over.
Yep.
You know?
AJ88 said sometimes you have the best workouts when you're feeling like shit.
Fact. Oh yeah, you know why? Because you force yourself to train, and when you train when you don't want to train, that's when you have your best workout.
Yep, that's true. That's true. The dude 83 says we got Bush.
Yes, we do. Dude 83. That's my boy. Mike Tito said we got Bush.
Riff Raff says they also paid Trump supporters.
What do you mean they paid Trump supporters for what?
Maybe for the ride on the.
There's no Trump supporters out there riding. What are you kidding me? Trump supporters are sitting back shaking. Show me who's Trump supporter. The guys in black with the black. Those are the same guys that attacked. Listen, January 6th, nobody died. One person died. Ashley Babbitt died. No cops died. That cop died 2 days later, and that's because he had a fucking stroke and he was a Trump supporter. Okay, he was a Trump supporter. So don't give me this shit. All this shit, you've been fed too much bullshit. Go watch the fucking Nancy Pelosi tapes and all that shit where she's saying, I did this. You know, he wanted me to bring in the army and I didn't want to do it. No, she fucking caused that whole thing. What, how many guns did they? Did you hear anybody getting shot there? Did they burn anything? Did they burn anything inside the Capitol building? No. What did they do? The mom and pops marched in with American flags or Trump things wrapped around. Did they fight the cops? The ones you saw fighting the cops were the guys with the little black suits on, the helmets, and a fucking backpack. Those aren't Trump supporters. That's Antifa. They did it purposely to cause chaos. They were paid to do that. They came in on buses. You can't buy into that shit. That shit was a moot point. It was a moot point. They couldn't even prosecute that and said that Trump did. It never went to court. The only thing that went to court was that fucking stupid shit with Trump in a fucking some store, and you really think that he had that ugly fucking rag who he gets hot girls, Trump, okay? I've met Trump in person. I saw him when he was with Marla Maples, and Marla Maples was delicious, okay? And not for nothing, so was Melania. For a woman, you know, her stature, you think that he's going to take AJ Carroll or whatever the fuck her name is? You really think that he's going to take that fucking rag? Even he said I wouldn't, you know, that's not it. You think he's just roaming around at a department store? Ooh, look at that. Hey, come here. Like this. And how come she didn't go? How come she didn't go to the cops back then? Why did she go to the cops 30 years later?
Yep.
Huh? You believe all that shit? Come on, man.
Ben Garcia makes a good point here. He says, I don't understand how you can wave the flag of a country you don't want to go back to, but burn the one country you stay in. Doesn't make sense.
I say that all the time. Sometimes I've even said to, like I even said that to my girlfriend's father, not for nothing, when he told me, oh, my country is beautiful. Mexico's beautiful. You got to see, the land of fruits, of this, that. But what the hell did you come here for?
Yeah. Ben
Why
Garcia.
do you leave? I get it why you came here, but don't give me, if you love your country that much, why are you leaving? Make yourself better over there.
Yep. Ben Garcia, Joe, off topic. The Henry Godwin interview was awesome, bro. Be great if you can get Dennis Phineas on. Yes, I'm going to get Phineas on. He just has diabetes and actually is a little bit sick.
Oh boy.
But he's one of the wrestlers, Greg, I interviewed. But,
okay.
Henry Godwin is just such a phenomenal person in real life. He texts me all the time. He's like an uncle. He texts me how he's doing. He lost his son, actually. That's one of the reasons why he quit wrestling. His son actually passed away by an accident shooting.
Oh boy, that's not a good thing.
So that's why. But he was an awesome dude. He's a great guy. But I'm gonna have more guys on. He's gonna help me get the BSK on those guys. If you know who those guys are.
No, I don't know. I'm really bad with that, Joe.
Yeah, I know you don't know wrestling. He said no, he's not going to Alabama. Just excited for the upcoming videos.
Well, if I'm not in those videos, they're boring. They're going to be boring. Remember all the videos they show of me at the restaurants fucking around and Lee Priest fucking going, oh, I don't understand why you can't just say no, like that,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ben Garcia, Scott Norton, Scorpio Hawk, around the all collision in Korea. Yes, that's what I was talking about. I'm friends with Scott Norton. Those guys, they told me in Korea that's what happened to them when they went there to wrestle.
Yeah, it's bad, bro. Otto Warburger.
Mm-hmm.
Otto Warburger took a fucking poster off the wall. Just a poster. Or just a paper poster. It wasn't like it was in a frame. He just took a paper poster that was stapled to the wall off. He wanted it as a memento. He was there on a fucking school trip, and that was it for him. Otto Warburger. That's it. I don't know why I just remember his name now.
Yeah, I don't know. What he says, Luciano says, you don't get educated at Harvard, you get indoctrinated at Harvard.
100%, Luciano. You are right. Matt, but Joe, can you imagine if you could get fucking basically death, they killed you over fucking taking a poster off the wall. Can you imagine if you dare burn their flag or threw a rock at their police and shit? Forget it.
Yeah. Miss Bell sent us a little $2 super chat.
Oh,
Thank
Miss
you,
Bell.
Shoot first, ask questions, let God sort it out.
That's true. I mean, at this point of the game, they want somebody to get hurt. Let me tell you, if one of those protesters, just one, they're begging the Democrats, like, please God, let one of them get killed. Because if one of the protesters get killed and is by a cop that maybe did something wrong or not did something, but just maybe even protecting himself, hits him with a fucking blade, they're going to make it look like, oh my God, what they're going to do, how that's going to be spun is unbelievable. The dead guy's going to get a statue like George Fentanyl. He's going to get a fucking day named after him. We're all going to be like, they're going to get on their knee up to him. But to the cop that did it is going to be fucking executed. You watch.
Mr. Mike G said, good luck at the doctors tomorrow, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike G. I'm pretty sure I'm good. But I have to check because it's right there. And on the other side, right up here. And on the other side, inside, is where I had everything taken out of me, like muscles. That's why I cough sometimes and everything. Mm-hmm. Is because my, like if you look at the little punching bag, it's to the right. It's not in the middle. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more to the right, because they took out half the muscles of my throat, and my lymph nodes. If I scratch here, I can feel it behind my ear. It's the craziest thing. Then this ear blows up and then it gets like these sores on it. It's really weird. I get girls, like I was in a fucking doctor's office once, and a woman goes to me, the nurse goes to me, are you like a UFC fighter? And I said, no. What made you? And she goes to me, because your ears, and then my ear was all, it gets like big this ear, and then it gets like all sores. And I asked my doctor, what is that? Because he cut all the nerves, everything. Remember, I was cut from here to here. I went the wrong way, from here to here, right? Mm-hmm. And he cut nerves, like all kinds of shit happened to me on that side of the body. And he said to me, look, you didn't have to have chemo, and you're alive. If that's what you have to deal with for the rest of your life, that you get weird things and little things like that, be happy, and so I'm dealing with it,
Yeah, Ben Garcia said, on a serious note, Greg, praying for your doctor appointment goes great. Absolutely zero. Everything goes
Thank you, Ben. Yep. I'm pretty sure I'm good now because it's kind of going a little bit, goes away and it comes back. It's weird though, because they did the dentist people, they sent me specials and everything. And they tested and they don't see any of this, like no cavity there. There's no fucking nothing wrong with my teeth, there or any of that. So they're not sure where it's coming from.
Luciano said, Antifa on the website explained that they're going to pose as Trump supporters.
Yeah, they said it. Yeah, they have videos of them guys. Okay, put your hats on. They're putting a fucking, hats on and stuff. Of course, people know. See, let me tell you about Donald Trump and the rest of us people. Okay, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We're not going to fall for that. You're not going to shut down the economy and the whole fucking United States is not going to bow to you guys. It's not going to stop the ICE raids. You let 20 million fucking people in this country, unvetted. You don't even know who they are. It could be more people than that. They don't know. And it wasn't families. When you see those savages coming in, they're all like 21, 22, 23, and like 30-year-old men. Once in a while, you'll see a woman with a kid and shit like that. But most of the time, it's that. And they're not taking families out. They already said, if you are a gangbanger and you've got warrants on you, a lot of these guys have warrants in their own country. They're scared shit to go back to their own country. Okay, if you got warrants on you and you've been arrested a few times and all that shit, and you're in with a woman, they're going to take you and the woman out. They're going to see what's with the woman, and then they're going to give her if she's clean and she's working, they're going to let her stay. But if not, they're going to take him out. But if not, they're going to take her and they're going to give her the choice. Do you have anybody that you want to raise your kids here? Because we'll let them stay, or do you want them coming with you? Of course, they're going to say we want them coming with you. With me. But they're not just going in. That's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They're not just going in and arresting anybody that's Mexican or Guatemalan or El Salvador. None of that shit's true.
Yep. Luciano said a Hacksaw Jim Duggan interview would be great also. Thank you.
I remember hearing about that guy.
I'm trying to get him. Actually, Friday, my interview, tomorrow interview with Ted Arcidi drops. Jimmy the Bull couldn't come on, so it was just Ted Arcidi. But I do have Ed Cohen coming on. You know who Ed Cohen is? One of the biggest powerlifters.
Yeah, I remember Ed Cohen. Ed Cohen used to train to White Plains. Why?
Ed Cohen, Ted Arcidi, and I'm trying to get Mark Henry on also, but we'll see.
Let me ask you a question. Is it Hacksaw Duggan? Is that the guy that used to walk with the
2x4?
Okay, yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah,
I remember that guy. Okay, that guy I remember.
He used to yell your mother-in-law's name. Ho!
ho. She didn't understand English. She'd be like, what? She said putana. Puta.
There you go, puta.
Putana's Italian. Puta.
Dan said, note to self, never go to North Korea. Yeah, never go to North Korea.
Don't
Trust
go to
me.
North Korea.
Yep. Luciana said, Cole Scarfield, Flash Funk said him and the road warrior were kicked off the bus and detained for a heated argument in North Korea. Yes, that's true. I knew that.
Dude, you go to and I'm telling you, Dubai's like that right now. Dubai, you have to behave. How do you think they have no crime? There's zero crime in those places. They don't tolerate it. You know better.
Mm-hmm. AJ88 I just watched a documentary on Otto. He came home brain damage and died shortly after.
Yeah, but he came home. They damaged him. They killed him. I mean, he came home brain dead. So what the fuck? That's still dead. I mean, it's not like he was alive. Yeah, he had a heartbeat, but because he was on a machine, but he was brain dead. Yeah. I mean, they killed him over there.
I saw a good documentary, Greg, on OceanGate that came with. That's about that guy. Who
Joe, I just downloaded that to watch it.
That's a great documentary, Greg.
That little thing that imploded.
Yeah,
right?
I like shit like that, so I love it.
Joe, Lucy, and I just downloaded. I might watch that tonight, Joe. Thank you.
It's great. Great documentary.
I'm into all that. I love documentaries. Anything that's true, even movies. Once a movie's based on a real story, legitimately based, not based on true events, because then we could say every movie has like something like that.
Yeah. The guy told him, said, do not go down in this sub. He said to him, he was like the head engineer, said, do not do it.
But that guy was cocky. That fucking the owner and that guy, he had an ego. I saw the whole thing. I forgot his name. He had an ego. I didn't see the movie. I saw the trailer, so I downloaded the movie. I have the movie. I'm gonna watch. And
the guy was the main engineer who was driving it down.
That's fucked up. They had kids.
They had
kids. They had like gamers using a fucking.
Because it was a controller from a game controller. It was like a PlayStation controller.
Joe, what the fuck, man? I saw that. They had a girl who they showed her doing video like this. Like she's like, yo, I'm gonna, she's got the controller in her hand, and they showed it. That pod is in the back, getting ready to go down under the water. And she was on the boat. She was on the boat, and the boat stays up while the pod goes down. The little submarine thing, and she's got the controller. She was pretty hot, and she was doing shit like this and everything. Meanwhile, that's what you got. You're gonna rely on that. He had gamers working for him.
Yeah,
He
I
was
think
fucking crazy.
yeah, over 5,000 psi is what it is to get to Titanic. 5,000 psi. At 3,000, the carbon fire was breaking every time, and the guy was telling them, "Do not go down there."
But did you know? Did they tell you? I know it's a spoiler, but I want to know anyway. Did they know the people in the sub? Did they know the shit was happening as it was happening? Like, oh, we're having trouble. The fucking the red crane on the fucking left part. Did they know that kind of shit or no?
Well, what happened was they went a couple of little missions before, and you would hear inside of it. They would know that you hear a pop, like a giant pop, and that was the carbon fiber ripping. But he was saying, "Oh, well, that's normal. That's normal."
No, I never. No.
And the guy was telling him that's not normal. Sorry.
Joe, now you really got me nervous about the plane.
Come on, planes are different. This isn't going down to the ocean. Man.
I know, but still, you know what? The fucking there's some pressure up there too. But that's why I can't open doors and windows.
Yeah, Miss Bell said 100% wishing you, Greg, the best.
Thank you, Miss Bell.
Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Mike G, is Jimmy joining Terror City interview? No, Mike G is not, because he could not come. He could not. The book could not make it in time. Yep. Keith, my friend Keith, I know Keith. Valentino for president 2028.
Oh, we'd be really fucked.
We would be. Josh Rivera, what's up, Joe?
Thank you.
Glad to see you guys. What's up, Josh? How you doing, man?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
I got to call Brooke and Bridges. I know I got to call him, your cousin, Josh. What do we got here? Dan said, wasn't there a woke judge that was housing one of these gangbangers?
Yes, he's going in there. He's in trial right now.
Really?
Yeah, but the guy was wanted for either rape or murder. And these guys are crazy. These people don't care. But he's an immigrant. Give him a chance. You know, it's like, come on now. I don't want to hear that these are the people picking the crops and all that shit. They're not. The people picking the crops are migrants that they actually have a pass. There's some of them, they travel back and forth from Mexico to legally though. They actually have a pass. It's like a work visa that they have. They can come here, they work, they pick the crops, they get the money, and they go back. Sometimes it's a daily thing. You know that, right? It's a work visa. They're fucking bullshitting you. Nobody's coming in going to take your housekeeper unless your housekeeper's illegal and has dirt on them. Like, you know, she was once a fucking part of a cartel or something. You know, whatever. You understand?
Yeah, I don't know. The dude 1983 said, Greg, how can I get a copy of your book autographed? I brought a copy, just want it autographed. Well, we can.
Who said that? Oh, the dude.
The dude. Maybe we can arrange something. The dude.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could send it to me. You know. What? Yeah. Does he have Instagram? Tell him to message me.
Yeah, dude, you have an Insta. If you have an Instagram, Instagram Greg, and we'll work.
And if you don't, write to me off my website. But I got to make sure because then other guys watch your shit and make believe they're you. So
yes, exactly.
If you can. Message me on Instagram, and then we could do something where you could send it to me with self-addressed stamp envelope bullshit, and then I could do it, and you know. That's it. I don't want any money. I'm not looking for money for it. You know?
AJ88, there was like 300,000 at the WCW event, and those Koreans had no idea what they were watching. That's right, because that's true, Greg. Because what happened was the Korean government made the people. It was mandatory. They had to go to the event. Did you know that?
No. But how do you not know what you're watching? Did they think it was real?
They didn't know what they were. The wrestlers went to North Korea. They wrestled, and the government made everyone in North Korea go to the event. They had to go. It was mandatory. They didn't even know what they were watching. They didn't even know what they were watching.
Money is not worth, you know, it's just not worth it sometimes. You know, you sit and you measure what risks that you have to take. Dude, let me tell you something. You know, Dave always makes jokes. You're gonna look, I pay my taxes. I do everything I got to do here. I don't know nobody anything. The thing
you have a big house, Greg. You have a big house.
I do, and I've had it for a long time. Here's the thing. Okay, and I don't have any mortgage. Here's the thing. I could go back and do bad things again like I used to do. You know what I'm saying? I know people I can get back into if I wanted. But if I get in trouble, I'm fucked. And that's it. So the money's not worth your life or your time. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, even in sports, like Paul O'Neill, I always tell everybody that Paul O'Neill was offered more money at the end of his contract when he knew he was at the end of his career, you know, for like an extra year or two. He was offered more money. I think the Red Sox were one of them. And he said to his wife, what do you think I should do? And she said, I'm going to tell you what you should do. You shouldn't do anything. You stay with the Yankees. You know why? Because you have peace of mind. And you're still making enough money that you can live off of and feel good. We're set for life, she said. But you know what? No, there's no price tag on peace of mind. You understand? So it's just like guys like, I could have had my sister keep the money that they took from me. You understand? They took $250,000 cash, which was a safety deposit. I told you everything that they took, right? And I could have had them give that back, but I would have had to forfeit my time. In other words, I would have had to done 3 to 5 to 7, whatever he wanted to put me in jail. So I said, it's not worth it. My sister goes to me, don't be an asshole. Like, you can always make money. Money's nothing. But it's not worth your freedom. So it's the same thing with everything else, guys. You know what I mean? Sometimes, if I was offered to go to one of those countries like North Korea and you're going to give me a lot of money, yeah, I could always use the money. Trust me, I could use the money. But it's not worth what it could cost me. Paul O'Neill stayed with the Yankees because he didn't want to go to another team and just not, he's comfortable here. This is where I like to be. I love being a Yankee. This is why I want my legacy. Go to another team. Look at Juan Soto. He's not the same. He's kind of miserable. He said in an interview, I might have made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Just because of $5 million out of instead of making $760 million, he's now making $765 million. You really think that's like if I gave you a garbage pail full of garbage pail full of marbles or gumballs, right? Here's a garbage pail full, and I scooped this many marbles out and I threw them out like this. You wouldn't even notice. It's such a small amount. $5 million to $760 million is nothing.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. You wouldn't notice.
Exactly.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Right.
What is it? Keith said also Ivan Putski's interview would be awesome too. Yes, it would be.
I remember that guy.
Ivan Polish Power. Yeah, I try to get him. He's a little bit older now, so the older wrestlers don't know the computer and the tech too well. So it's like Tony Atlas. He doesn't even know how to turn on a computer. I got to talk them over the phone how to do it. And I'm not the greatest either. My brother George is really good at that stuff. I'm not.
George is great.
But let's see. What else we got? Mike G said Ed Cohn is the greatest powerlifter of time. Yes, he is, and I'm going to have Ed on. I'm going to have Ed on with
I think I've met Ed Cohn. I'm not sure. I get him mixed up with a few. I think Ed used to train at the White Plains YMCA. You'd have to ask him that because when I used to go down there when Jim, what's his name, Charlie Arms and all those guys, they were all there at the same time. My friend was Joe Steinfeld, who was like a superstar powerlifter, world record holder and everything. He benched triple body weight.
Yep. Ben Garcia said, Greg, are you still friends with Mark Bell? Any chance of a bigger, stronger, faster, a bigger sequel?
They were supposed to have a bigger, stronger, faster sequel. And, I know they interviewed Dave, I think, and other people. And he said he was going to get to me, Mike Bell. And yeah, I'm still friends with all them guys. And not Mike, Jesus Christ. Chris.
Chris Bell.
Yeah, Chris. And he said he was going to, but never got back to me. You know what I mean? So if you have that, I'm going to say exactly what when Joe Pietaro and I broke the story for the movie Creed, we were talking to Paulie from Rocky, Burt Young. And we asked him, is there ever going to be another Rocky? He said, I'm going to tell you a little something. There's going to be a movie called Creed. They're working on it right now about Apollo Creed's son. We said, no way. He said, nobody knows this. You're the first people to. And I said, well, are you going to be in it? And he said to me, well, so far, I don't know. He goes, but if they don't put me in it, it's sacrilegious. Well, that's what I'm going to say about this. If they don't put me in. And Mark, I love Mark Bell, but he has said, steroids are as American as apple pie. But you got to throw the fucking props this way. Because that's my fucking goddamn statement. Right. You know what I mean? But if I'm not in that movie, it's sacrilegious.
That's right. Luciano said, by the way, it's been 40 years since Robert Ballard found the Titanic on the ocean floor. Yes. Yes, it's a great documentary, Greg. You gotta like it. OceanGate.
I'm so into that shit. You don't know. I love all that.
Me too, man. The guy was.
But I
so
could
much
never go.
He was smart, but he just wasn't.
If they raise the fucking thing, I'll come go see it in a museum somewhere, definitely. But I ain't never going under that.
I would never go down. Me either. I would never.
I would never go under. Bro. I don't care if it's 10 feet under. I'm not going.
It takes like 2.5 hours just to go down, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Fuck that. I would be shitting my pants. Is there a bathroom even on there?
No,
no. Well, what do you got to
if you pass a fart, and especially you, if you had to pass a fart or something, woof.
Unfortunately, my girlfriend, I don't really get gas like that. I get shits, which I'd rather have gas because you're fine. But I have to shit. And with me, it's a countdown, or it's going to be in the pants. And then nobody's going to want to sit. You're going to imagine sitting with a guy who shit.
2.5 hours.
A fart fucking dissipates, but a fucking shit, Imagine that. You shake
2.5 hours.
and you're like, dude, get him out of this fucking sub. You know what I mean?
The Titanic would
You're
raise.
sitting in like pancake mix in your ass and shit.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah, because you see how small the actual tank is, and it only can hold 6 people.
I don't understand that, Joe. Joe,
And
that first
really
of all, that
small.
alone,
You're like next to each other like this, and
dude, Joe, that alone makes me like feel like I would have claustrophobia.
I would not be able to get in that thing. No way.
And then if somebody ate some fucking like spicy food, and I'm gonna smell your rotten fucking sour breath and shit. It smells like salami in there. Fuck no way.
Yeah, they the day before there was one influencer. I'm gonna tell you one thing. The influencer who was doing the videos on this OceanGate, he was one of the last people to go in before the next day they blew up. So he went in it, but they pulled it back up because there was some weather issues. And he said that inside of it, he said his feet got really cold. He said something was wrong. He felt something was wrong. Oh, you'll see when you watch it. You'll watch. You'll be like, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right there. That's it.
Yep.
That was the devil. That was the fucking ghosts.
Yep. Natalia, hi everyone. What's up, Natalia? Mike G wants to know if they want Greg to go to Alabama so bad, they should some skull.
No, they're throwing me money. She's very good. That girl's very good. She's very good. Michelle's very good. And they are throwing me money. Dave, don't listen, Dave. Dave likes to stir the pot. No, they are throwing me money. It's not about the money though. It's about me. I don't like flying, and I don't like those airports, and I get like fucking anxiety with that shit. Nothing gives me anxiety but that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Miss Bell said, if Greg was president, imagine the statues on the lawn of the White House.
Damn right. Holy shit, you're right, Miss Bell. I didn't even think about that. I got all my I got so many. I'd have the whole fucking White House full of statues. You know what I'm saying?
ISIS would be at your house every day.
Holy Christ. I love it.
That's pretty funny.
You're right. It's not just statues. I got like oddities. Joe will say he's been in my house like with my bedroom and stuff. Joe's been in my bedroom. He's seen like I sleep with like demon fucking shit and all that kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, I can't sleep in that room. I can't even walk in that room. It's crazy.
Sleeping in the Munster's house. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's got like all the creatures, the mannequin heads.
And I got these giant fucking things. You know, you have no idea.
Not to mention you have a TV that you just play just for sound.
Yeah.
Your turtles are still alive? Your turtles are still there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The turtles, those things, they'll survive. They're like cockroaches. They'll survive a nuclear war, those things. They'll outlive all of us. There's a turtle, a tortoise that is older than was around when Abraham Lincoln was around. It still walks around. Google that one. Go Google the tortoise that's been alive for like 200 years.
William Allen says, Greg, take a train to Alabama.
I was thinking of it. You know what it is too? I would do it if I, train also sometimes they got to stop. You got to get off. Then get on that train. I don't, that whole shit. You know what I mean? That's how you lose luggage. Last year, me and Lucia got on a fucking goddamn plane. When we get off, we have the side luggage, the little, where sometimes where they take it, when you're walking in, and they took my fucking suitcase and Lucia's suitcase and the plane was filled. They lose one suitcase. Who do you think it was? Mine, right? Lucia looks out the fucking thing on a tarmac and she sees, holy shit, there it is. It's on the middle of the tarmac by itself out there. You know what I mean? Oh my God. So Lucia yelled, the guy ran out there and got it. You know what I mean? That's the fucking luck I got, bro. Wow. That's fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable. Skip Million. What's up, Skip? Hi, everybody. I'm working here Skip, on the truck, what are you doing, brother? But I'm listening. Much love. What's up, Skip? Hope all is well, man. Our AR says, Greg, what's the truth about Dave and John's hatred for Steve Bleckman? It's been so long since they left. I am not getting into that, but there is a side story to that. And trust me, I'm not getting into that. But Steve Bleckman is still my friend. I'm still very good friends with Steve. When I was in the hospital, he was calling me. Dave knows I don't get into that. I'm still friends with Big Rob. I don't get into any of that stuff. I'm not getting into any of that in between. Let's just say there's reasons. I'm not going to say so. Yeah, I know. You're going to make it so that I have trouble. Yeah. Well, Greg, it's been an hour, man. It goes by quick. I have to pee so bad, Joe. You have no idea. I know. It's been an hour. I'm like moving like this. When you see me starting to do this shit a lot, that's because I got to pee like a racehorse. All right. Well, again, Greg, thank you for another great week. Thank you, guys. I love all you guys. Thank you, AJ, JT, Dan, Natalia. And I will be here next Thursday to do this, so don't worry about that. Whether I'm going to Alabama or not, I'm still be here. So, Mr. G, everyone. All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Love you guys. Yeah, go take a piss. All right, Joe. I'll talk to you.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.